First little carton of milk at a very low price, but after that it gets bad, and then it gets up to 275, 300%.
Mexico makes every effort to increase milk output. U.S. grievances on Canada's protectionist dairy policy. The hypocritical report makes the $3.2 billion claim. By taking the place of the United States in Mexico's dairy imports, Canada simply grabbed that much money without exchanging handshakes or holding a news conference. This is where the twist lies. This wasn't a spectacular event. It was silent. Mexico, which used to be one of the biggest consumers of American milk, has quietly stopped buying it. The gallons that used to flow into Guadalajara and Mexico City from Wisconsin and Ohio are no longer there. Canada is taking over instead, offering clearer standards and cleaner supply chains, things that Washington appears to be losing quickly. Have faith. For American dairy producers who are already having difficulty due to drought, tariffs, and growing expenses, this is a gut punch, not just terrible news. Why did Mexico, the United States' closest economic partner and neighbor, stop using U.S. milk? Why now? Why Canada, too? Is this merely a short-term realignment, or the beginning of a more significant change in the region's food security? Furthermore, is this the way a superpower loses their place at the agriculture table without even recognizing it? Let's dissect it. Dairy exports from America used to dominate international markets. Mexico alone generated $2.32 billion in U.S. dairy sales in 2023, or over one-fourth of all exports. President Trump imposed a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico on February 4, 2025, under emergency powers, appending established commercial relationships. The value of U.S. dairy exports fell 0.5% from January to March 2025 compared to the previous year, indicating a demand halt. Despite worldwide growth trends, cheese shipments to Mexico decreased by 5% in volume at the beginning of 2025. For any significant U.S. dairy product, its decline was the first quarterly decline in years. The outcome is obvious. Due to changing market dynamics and diplomatic crossfire, historic strongholds are disintegrating. Dairy farmers from Canada subtly made their way into the Mexican market during 2024. Canada's exports increased by almost 67% year over year, from $2.86 million to $4.78 million. That amount is still insignificant when compared to the billions of dollars in America. However, it highlights the potential drawbacks of depending only on one tariff-exempt partner. Even dependable markets may get chilly when policy changes occur. Mexico's change of direction is a reflection of broader worries about quality standards and supply chain security. Government regulations now give preference to suppliers with more robust local support and more transparent oversight. In other words, following years of steady U.S. shipments, Mexico is hedging its bets. Washington can no longer count on the unwavering support of its biggest dairy client. In the meantime, U.S. manufacturers must contend with the combined risks of declining exports and growing manufacturing expenses. This implies reduced profits and strategic uncertainty for farmers ranging from Wisconsin to California. Analysts cautioned that prompt policy actions will be necessary to maintain output at present levels. Action is required immediately, from targeted trade talks to supply chain diversification.